Hi, my name is David Russell. I own 30 West Media, and I wanted to give you a quick overview of who I am and what I'm trying to accomplish. I am third generation in the printing industry. My father owns a printing company. His father owned a printing company. Even his uncle worked for a printing company. I did printing sales, graphic design. I've been trained traditionally in the old school ways. I worked in a dark room, shooting film, making plates, typesetting before they were even really computers. I mean, we did typesetting back in the day on a Linotype machine, and I can explain that in other videos. But if you know what that is, that means I've been doing it a really long time. Um, I came up with an idea. I was working the Dave Ramsey plan, paying off debt. I had a full-time job during the day, and I did graphic design at night. And I came across an opportunity to design a football program. Some people call them media guides, some people call them football programs. Whatever you call them, it's still the same work. Somebody has to sit down and design them. Well, back in those days, I started in 2003 and kind of got full swing in 2005. People were still filling out ad forms and then submitting either a business card stapled to the top of it with the staple through the logo, or they were stapling a photo of their child, either in the band, a cheerleader, or a football player. And then we would scan those photos, take the information from the ad form, lay out the ad, and then put it in the book, and then do them just one at a time, over and over and over again, until the book is completed. Digital technology was advancing a good bit, and I started, I'm working long hours. I work, 10 hours during the day, come home, eat dinner, sit at my kitchen table with a very old laptop, and I would scan. I had a little portable scanner. I would scan these things and do these ads over and over and over again. And I started to come up with this idea of how to make it an easier process. That's the best way to explain what I'm trying to explain today. And I think that the technology is here now to do it and make your job easier. Make my job easier as a graphic designer. I'm thinking of launching this system, and basically it would work like this. And I've already got the forms developed. It's an online form on my website, 30west.us. I'll put the exact address in this video in just a moment. It'll show up at the bottom. You fill out the form. Your name, your school, when the first game is, when you need the books, and then we can come up with a production schedule. Your logos, your sayings, let's say if you're the Bucks, go Bucks, your different sayings. And then what we would do is set up a landing page for people wanting to do advertising for your program. Now, here's the beauty of it. The system that I've come up with is this. Once you do that, and we set up your landing page, we'll email you the landing page and say, all right, here's your landing page. Everybody that did an ad with you last year, send them this email, or print some cards with the address on it, or just write it down and hand it to them. If it's a repeat ad, the form will ask that. Is this an exact repeat of last year? Is it a revision from last year? And then a series of questions will appear. I've already created this form. I just need to customize it to each school. They pay their money right then, and then it moves them to another page. Once they pay their money, they move them to another page. The beauty of it is when they move to the other page, depending on how they answer the previous questions, if it's same as last year, nothing happens. They just say, thank you, would you like to donate more, and so forth. But if they want to upload it, say it's a corporation, they want to upload it and they can't pay with a credit card or a debit card, they can get an invoice instantly that they've placed an ad, and it will email them an invoice, and then they can have their corporation write a check and then send you some money. But once that happens, then they go to this page, they can upload their ad. If they want to create their ad, it moves them to the page. It gives them an option of logos they can use that are approved by your school, meaning if it's a certain mascot, a certain saying, a certain whatever, certain fonts, we can limit that. And then if it's a quarter page ad, a quarter-page ad will appear, and it's very easy to use. If you can use Microsoft Word, you can use this system. They put their photo in, have a great senior year, have a great season, love mom, pop, and grandpa, and then they hit approve. And once they hit approve, it will email a link to your graphic designer that you filled out in your form, and the graphic designer can pull the file down and lay it in the book. The graphic designer will no longer be designing the ad itself, unless you have, special requests. I've had a few over the years where they wanted me to design it. Specifically, the Rick and Bubba Show. I do their ads for local books up in Birmingham, Alabama. But we can add that to the form if they want a custom design. And what we did with one of the high schools this year is, if they wanted a custom design and they wanted a proof prior to it being placed in the book, there was an upcharge for that because it takes more time. So the high schools that I worked with, when we did the ad, it was, I'm going to make up an arbitrary amount. Say it was $250 for an ad. It was $50 for a customized proof. And that worked very well for us this year. So that's the idea I've got. It would save a lot of coordination for you as a coordinator, save you a lot of time. The biggest book I ever did was a school in Birmingham. It was 328 total pages. It was 324 pages plus cover. It took me 5 months, 5 months to design this book, and that's every night for about 6 hours. 6 hours a night for 5 months I had to lay out this book. The coordinator that year sent me a letter and said it was the worst thing that her family has ever gone through. She was, when I met with her later, she was in tears. She said, I had no idea how much time this was going to take me. And that was the time that I started coming up with this idea. That was about 12 years ago. She inspired me to figure out a way to help coordinators. Now, you coordinators, some of you will get it for, you'll volunteer for 3 years. Some for 4. I've worked with folks for 4 years. And some, it'll filter over. So you've got a kid that's a freshman the first year you're on the committee, and then they're a senior, so you've been doing it 4 years. You've been training people behind you, and then you leave. But there are other people who have a freshman and they do it, or a sophomore, and they do it for a couple of years, and then they got another kid that's a freshman. This is a way to help you coordinators pass the torch. The system takes care of ad creation, ad collection, money collection. The system has a reporting set to it. You can request a report to see where you are on your dollars and pages and how big the book's going to be. It is a pretty good system. I'm trying to think what else I could mention about it. I'm going to add in the form for the people placing the ads, this just came to me this morning, to ask the age of the student or the grade of the student that's going to be in the ad. Here's why. The next year, you will have all this data. The data will be for reorders. You could ask us to send an email out with just a few clicks and a simple message to ask them to renew, to change, or whatever, and that email could go out in 1 hour to everyone that advertised in the book the year before. So I'm really proud of this system. I've worked on it a very long time. I've had 9 different software engineers work on it, and I'm about ready to launch. I am going to launch this thing in December of 2017, and I'm going to start taking orders, getting people signed up, and see what we can do. So thank you for listening to this. If you'd like to know more information, I'll put my contact information at the end of this video. You can give me a call. We can talk about it. I'm even going to start a blog where people can start talking about problems that they're having, coordinating these books, and maybe come up with some solutions collectively. Like we can all come up with an idea to figure out how to make your life easier. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with you. Take care.